All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. Now, after beginning the 2020 NFL season with a record of 5-1, the Chicago Bears have lost their last four contests, and all of those losses result start and end with their struggles on offense. You're looking at a Bears team this year that is currently 25th in the NFL in passing. They have not been getting quality play from either Mitchell Trubisky or Nick Foles at that so important position on the team. And honestly, at the end of the day, all of this blame falls into the laps of general manager Ryan Pace and, of course, head coach Matt Nagy. In regards to Trubisky, he's been up and down at best during his tenure with the Bears. And in the year that Chicago drafted Trubisky second overall, let's not forget, they passed on both Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes has already won a Super Bowl, and he is a reigning Super Bowl champion with the Kansas City Chiefs, and as well as being an NFL MVP. And Deshaun Watson definitely has that potential as well. And you look at a Bears franchise for the longest time, they have struggled for far too long to find themselves a quality franchise quarterback. And the Bears have relied on their defense too much. They've relied on their special teams, because if you go back to the Bears' loss this past Monday night at home versus the Minnesota Vikings, their only touchdown came via the kickoff return. Cordero Patterson returned the opening kickoff of the second half, but their offense struggled. I mean, their defense, put them in good spots. You remember, if you go back and remember that game, the interception in the first half by Khalil Mack that was returned deep into Vikings territory, and the Bears had to settle for a field goal. That comes down to quarterback play. That comes down to execution right there, and the Bears simply don't have it. And you look at the remainder of Chicago's schedule, they have a bye week coming up this week, but then after that, at Green Bay versus Detroit, versus Houston. They're at Minnesota, who just beat them. They're at Jacksonville, and they finish up at home versus Green Bay. And you have a team that a few weeks ago was pushing the Packers for the top spot in the NFC North. And at the very worst, you thought they were going to be a wild card team. It's not happening right now. It simply isn't happening because, obviously, with the struggles of the NFC East, they're going to take a postseason spot away from a contender. But then on top of that, you look at the teams that are really legitimately in wildcard contention right now in the NFC. You're talking about the Bucs and the Saints. One of them's going to come out of that NFC South as a wild card, obviously. And then you also look at the Rams, Cardinals, and Seahawks coming out of the NFC West. Only one team can obviously win that division, and the other two are going to get wild card spots. So it's not going to happen right now for the Bears in regards to being a playoff team. And honestly, at the end of the day, I would not be surprised if there's an overhaul in this front office for the Bears next season, and we see a new general manager and we see a new head coach. Matt Nagy's main responsibility in Chicago was to fix the offense. And, he's attached his wagon to Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky was not the guy. We saw this past offseason where the Bears decided not to pick up Mitchell Trubisky's rookie option. They brought in Nick Foles in the hopes that Foles would be the guy that would jumpstart this offense. But let's not forget, Foles was at his best when he was a quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles when he came off the bench in 2017. Very familiar with that system. Basically the same system that the Bears are running right now under Matt Nagy. However, you don't have the talent around Nick Foles that you did then. And we are seeing that, Nick Foles really isn't a guy. He is a product of the system that he is in. And more importantly, he's a product of the talent that is around him in the system. And the bottom line is that ain't there. We've seen the issues for the Bears. They're very limited with what they can do on offense, and it's holding this team back. They gave up a fortune to get Khalil Mack. They put so much on the defensive side of the ball. They put so much in the special teams, but that alone is not going to win you championships. You have to have a quarterback who's going to consistently make plays with his arm from the pocket down the field to put pressure on the defense. The Bears don't have it with Trubisky. The Bears don't have it with Foles. And because of that, Nagy and Pace are probably going to be out of jobs. So once this NFL season comes to an end in about a month and a half for the Chicago Bears, they are going to be in a very too familiar position for them in recent years, which is starting over, trying to figure this out, to how they are going to get this offense going in the Windy City. So folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge show here on YouTube. I want to thank all of you subscribers out there, and if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports, and like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.